Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charline Sistrunk, and Miss Tanya has asked me to come on and give you a little information about finance and how you can retire. Let me give you a brief background on myself so you can know that at least I might know what I'm talking about. I have a bachelor's degree in business with a focus in finance. I've been in the financial industry for almost 40 years. And so I know what I'm talking about just a little bit. The reason Tanya asked me if I would come on is because she said a lot of you are thinking of making a plan to retire. So what I'd like to say first about that is your plan to retire is as personal as your fingerprint, as your thumbprint. No one has the same idea about retirement. So what I'd like to do is talk to you a little bit about some of the choices you may want to make versus what you should do. How's that? So here we go. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is debt. We all have it. And the closer you get to retirement, the less debt you want to have. You can decide, do I want to have a mortgage? If you don't want to have a mortgage, then what you should do is look at ways of paying off your home before you retire. Someone would say, how do you do that? You get an amortization board, you can Google it. It'll tell you how many payments in addition to your mortgage payment you should make to pay your home off in a number of years that's not only comfortable for you, but it'll get it paid off so that when you retire, you won't have a mortgage. Now that's not the road everyone wants to take, but I certainly, at 66 years old, did not want to have a mortgage hanging over my head. Paying taxes and your normal other monthly bills, to me, is enough. But you'll decide whether that's something that you'd like to explore. Now, here's another one. Car notes, excessive credit card debt, all of the things that go along with life when your income is flowing, you're not living on a set amount of money, you're working, right? You can pay these debts off monthly, or you can decide you want to pay them off in bulk, however you want to do it. However, when you're starting at looking at retirement, that means you want to transition from maybe full-time employment to something that's less strenuous. So you might also want to look at alternate things you can do once you retire, right? Like you might want to start a different business, or you might want to have something that isn't as impactful so that you can have a lot more freedom to do the things in your life that you want to do. That's the second piece of advice I give. The third is to get your house in order. I mean, really get your house in order. Like if you, however many years you are before retirement, do the things that you need to do to put yourself in a position to have the fewest difficulties when you decide to retire as possible. And that would be orchestrated by whatever's going on in your life. That's why I say retirement looks different for everyone. Some people say, I never want to retire. I want to do this forever. And that's great. Do it. Some people say, I can't wait to retire. That's fine. But what type of lifestyle do you want to have during your retirement? That's what we always must keep in mind. What do we want our retirement to look like? Our comfort level, right? Do we want to travel? Do we want to stay at home? Do we want to start investing in other properties, or do we want to downsize? It all depends on the individual person. Here's a few tips. Make sure you get a financial advisor. Don't just talk to one. Talk to a few until you get comfortable with the one you feel will help you move in the direction that you want to go in as seamless as possible. Also, make sure that you sit down, just take some time by yourself and write out the things you want to do when you retire. Some will say, well, how much money do I need to retire? That completely is personal also. What is your income that you live on now? What is your monthly total of bills you have going out? Is that going to be the situation you're in when you retire? So you see, all these things come into play. So if I were you, I'd get a good financial planner, someone who can focus on your personal life.